Yeah. Yeah. 30 times. Oh, yeah. Between the warden, her, you, 30 times. That was the same thing at the meeting as well? No. Oh, well, the meeting you went. Oh, the meeting Thursday night. Yeah. Brutal. I love that line. Is this meeting about me or the project? But actually, one of the main organizers of Raise of the Money was at a meeting this morning. Yeah. And has the report.
Hey, on a une maison là, qui est passée, la maison.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is a rather loud volume, and there's an echo. There's an echo. Maybe, Kim, I'm hearing an echo on your laptop. That should make a difference. Great. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our monthly meeting, and we will begin with our TNO agenda. And I want to start by saying that it's wonderful to see so many people in our audience. Thank you very much for being here this evening, and I know we'll be hearing from all of you shortly. So this is our meeting of the TNO, where I am the mayor of the TNO, and all of the other people sitting around the table are the councillors of the TNO. So we need a resolution to open the meeting, moved by Councillor Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. The attendance sheet has been circulated. I think everyone has had a chance to sign it. And do we have anyone on Zoom tonight? No. Okay. I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is recorded, and we are on Facebook Live to enable residents to watch online. And the recording of this sitting will be available on our MRC website tomorrow. First, I'd like to now read the use of language of your choice. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Au besoin, il y aura la présence sur place d'une ressource de la MRC pour assurer une traduction. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. If necessary, a resource of the MRC will be available to ensure translation. Number 4, the statement by the warden, the declaration of decorum. Nous sommes élus par les gens du Pontiac pour les représenter au mieux de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions d'une manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion, et si j'entends des paroles négatives ou des critiques à l'égard de quelqu'un d'autre, j'arrêterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. Je vous remercie. We are elected by the people of the Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. They expect us to conduct our meetings in a professional and businesslike manner. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to apologize. Thank you. I now need a resolution to read for the reading and adoption of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Doris Ranger. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Are there any declarations of interest or conflict on this agenda? On the TNO?
Oh, no,
Yeah,
on
no,
TNO.
that's what I thought.
Next
yeah,
one.
no problem. Thank you though for being so quick. I don't think you have any conflicts up in the unorganized territory of the Pontiac. Okay. Then seeing none, we'll go on to number 7. And I need a resolution for the adoption of the minutes of our last sitting in October. Moved by Councillor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Now we have public question period. Is there anyone in the audience that has a question about the TNO? Seeing none, we go to our accounts paid, Annie Vaillancourt, and we'll have a resolution after her report.
Hello, bonsoir. So for the TNO this month, we have just 2 amounts in our receivables for a total of $9,000. And the expenses for the last month were $134,408.29. There was road maintenance, as usual. Also a quarterly payment to the MRC for the administration services and some supplies and gas for the vehicles.
Thank you, Annie. Are there any questions or comments on that report? Seeing none, could I have a councillor move this resolution? Moved by Councillor Alain Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Number 10, nomination to appoint MRC de Pontiac as responsible for the project. This is Julian for fit testing. Julian Gagnon will introduce this.
Bonsoir. Good evening, everyone. This is a project that will be described maybe more in depth at the MRC meeting when we get there in a minute, but essentially we're putting together a project so that firefighters can obtain fit testing of their breathing apparatus masks. It is a project that is going to encompass all 18 municipalities and the TNO for the firefighters that may be responding on that territory. That service will be offered by the MRC, and therefore we want an intermunicipal agreement to be able to provide that service. And essentially, this is the nomination of the MRC as project manager for the establishment of this service.
Excellent. Any questions or comments for Julian? Could I have someone move this resolution, please? Moved by Councillor Brent Orr. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And we have another item with Julian Gagnon, another resolution, the adoption of the Fire Safety Cover Plan, Implementation Plan for the TNO Council.
Yes, this concerns the Fire Safety Cover Plan of the MRC Pontiac. All 18 municipalities have already adopted the implementation plan. There will be an official adoption at the MRC council meeting, but in this sitting, we are simply adopting the implementation plan for the TNO and its responsibilities as far as the Fire Safety Cover Plan, and therefore this resolution will be the final resolution from the final municipality for the Fire Safety Cover Plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh. I meant Councillor Ed Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. And we've reached the end of the meeting. Could I have someone move a resolution to close the sitting? Moved by Councillor Christine Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. Before we begin our regular public meeting for the Council of Mayors, it gives me great pleasure in welcoming our newest mayor to the table. This is her first public meeting. And I'd like to welcome Mayoress Lucy Rivet-Paquette from Rapide des Joachim. Please stand up, Lucy, and actually come up here to the front for a moment, please. I just want to tell you what I know about Lucy. Lucy is not only a bus driver, but she also has worked in the ZEC office for quite a while. And her family are major volunteers in Rapide des Joachim. With her son, Paul, and the rest of the family, they put on usually the seniors' Christmas dinner. And I also know that you've spearheaded the Downtown Life Committee for Rapide des Joachim, which is usually a big car show, and you have kids. Yeah, so I would like you to say a few words about Rapide des Joachim and being the mayor.
Well, okay. You said so. Okay, I'm not used to that. Okay, first of all, I'm from Fort Collins. Okay, I was 15 years old when I moved in Rapide des Joachim. It's 45 years I lived there, and we do a lot of activities, like Mrs. Jane said. We start community life downtown because my son have pancreas cancer at 32, so he love cars. So that's why we start the committee to do activity for him to give him a spirit to continue to live. And not only that, it's because we love all the people. I used to work at Maison des Jeunes for 10 years too. So I did a lot of activities. I win lots of trophy. And like she said, I work at the ZEC for 25 years now. And I'm a bus driver for 28 years. And I'm a mother of 3 children. And that's pretty much. And I do a lot of activity for the township because I love my town.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lucy. Congratulations again. And you know that expression that it takes a busy person to get things done. So you're very busy, and we're very happy to have you with us. And it's also nice to have another female mayor. We've got 8 now around the table, but Mayor Walsh was reminding us that it's still 10 to 8. But then I say we've also got myself and Kim Lesage. So there we go. We're very happy to have you. Thank you, Lucy. Now, for the opening and attendance, I need a resolution moved by Mayor Lynn Cameron. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Just a reminder again that this meeting is being recorded and is available on Facebook Live and will be available tomorrow on the website. The declaration of the use of language, I have just read it a few minutes ago. I will not, it still applies. And so does the statement by the warden, declaration of decorum. Number 5, the reading and adoption of the agenda. Could I have someone move that resolution? Moved by, I saw a hand, there we are, Mayor Odie Godin. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Are there any declarations of interest? Mayor LaRiviere.
So yes, now I'm on track. So yes, it's item 16.3.
Okay, that's great.
I'll leave the room at the time.
When we come to the item. Thank you
Yes,
very
thank
much.
you.
And any others? No, all right. Number 7, we need a resolution to adopt the minutes of our last sitting, October 18th, 2023, moved by Mayor Odie Godin. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Number 8, we need another resolution to adopt the minutes of the October 25th, 2023 special sitting, moved by Mayor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. Now we will come to public question period, which is not quite the presentations. Is there anyone who has a question about the public for the public meeting? Okay, seeing none, thank you. We'll go on to the warden's report. So this month, our meeting is 1 week later, and that's traditional because in November, we also adopt the agenda or the budget, pardon me. So my warden's report consists of, I went to a seniors gathering with connections at St. Paul's in Shawville, had a 3-hour meeting at PHS and a tour of the school with Terry Burns, the new principal, had a meeting with Minister Lacombe with the rest of the CPO, Youth Council meeting, CDC Pontiac, HR Committee, Human Resources here, the Connexion Fib Econoc with Lynn Cameron, Renewable Energy Committee with our Guillaume Boudreau, Piscine Pontiac, had another meeting with Joe Kowalski about his interest in our national park, meeting with Andre Fortin, just an update with each other, meeting with John Stewart, meeting with Sontride, Chip FM interview. We had the regional OVT that Kim Lesage and I attended up in Gracefield. And the next regional OVT is going to be, I believe, in January in the Pontiac. Yes, and we also have another highlight. The CPO and Matthew Lacombe are coming to the Pontiac as well because we do quite a bit of traveling and we simply said it's time for the next meeting to be in the Pontiac. So that'll be great. Action Santé, the Investment Committee, FRR3, meeting with the volunteers of Piscine Pontiac, Budget Committee, Jim Myers, who has started a flood prevention group working with residents across the river in Ontario. Youth Council, I have met with Rhonda Perry to discuss SADC MRC. Plenary, RPGO, which was with Sabrina Ayers and with Kim Lesage on the Les Priorités Patrimoine. Sandra Armstrong, a meeting with Sandra, Friends of the Pontiac, attended their meeting last Thursday night up in Thorne. The EVO with Credo in Wakefield. I was there with Thierry Rambo and Rochelle from our housing designated person. Had a check-in with Deloitte, a brief one. Oktoberfest. There is interest in how we can improve Oktoberfest. So I met with some people interested in that. And then Monday, I want to thank everybody who contributed. Everyone around the table contributed for the Sontride breakfast. Thank you very much for your generosity. And some of the mayors were also able to attend. And I really want to recognize Aaron Davis, who was a huge help to speaking to businesses, getting money donated, and really approaching many people and making sure that they knew about it. So I think our first breakfast that was held in Shawville was about 35 people. And I believe we had over 130 at this one in Campbell's Bay. And we were very fortunate to have Elsa from the Junction restaurant who did all of the cooking herself, and the 7 organizations that are going to benefit from the funds. Basically, I think the number is that we receive about $212,000, and we give much less from the Pontiac. However, now that number is growing because we not only give from the MRC, but holding this event, we will announce at a future date exactly how much money will be presented. Then the CPO, we had a meeting, and then had a meeting yesterday with the Ottawa River Management, or actually it was on Monday, had a meeting with the Ottawa River Management group. And then yesterday we had a great meeting with Julian Gagnon and many mayors around the table for the Flood Prevention Task Force. And many people were concerned about the levels of water this fall. We're not used to seeing that, although we were told that that's not atypical. But we just want everyone to know that's listening that this committee is continuing. We think the vigilance is important, and we came up with many good ideas, such as the impact of climate change and looking at establishing permissible levels for water to be allowed to go to along the river and in Lac Calunge and various places, because that way it could allow for flash rainstorms and that sort of thing. So we've been told that on December 12th, we're going to have a presentation by Hydro-Quebec and their engineers with the Ottawa River Management Board, because we're basically saying the old formula needs to be changed and looked at. Thank you. Then the PDZA consultation. Doris Ranger was there this morning and Donnie Gagnon, which was great. It was an agricultural consultation at the Little Red Wagon. And we had another renewable energy meeting today, and that's it. Any questions about my report? Okay. And now we go on to announcements. We'll go around the table. I'll pass this microphone. It's working well. And I'll ask every mayor to give a report on any news, anything interesting in your municipalities.
Hi, Raymond Pilon, Mayor of Campbell's Bay. A few events going on in our town. First of all is the St. John Elementary bake sale, which will be November 30th. C'est la vente de pâtisserie à l'école élémentaire Saint-John le 30 novembre. Ça débute à 4 heures, starts at 4 p.m. Then on December 2nd, le 2 décembre, c'est la parade de Noël, Christmas parade, Campbell's Bay Leachfield Christmas parade. So Santa Claus will be in town on December 2nd. And then on December 10th at 1 p.m., the Pontiac Lions Club are holding a bingo at the Lions Hall. That's it for what's going on in Campbell's Bay.
Carl Mayer, Aileen and Kaywood. Santa Claus will be at Danford in December 9th, and everyone's welcome.
Lynn Cameron, Portage de Fort. We have the annual general meeting for the Pontiac Stone School, and it's Thursday, the 30th November at 1 p.m.
Colleen Larvier, Mayor of Leachfield, just to say we will be joining Campbell's Bay in the Campbell's Bay Leachfield parade. So Santa's coming to town.
Alain Gagnon, Bryson. Santa will be stopping first in Bryson, December 1st. Thank you.
Terry LaFleur from Otter Lake. I'm really not sure when Santa Claus is coming to town. I'll go ask him. But the 50 Club Plus is having a Christmas supper on December 16th, and I believe there's still some tickets left. So go ahead and buy those.
Odette Godin, Waltham. Actually, I have a call in to Santa. I have a few words to say to him, but there's nothing else going on.
Lucie Rivet, we will have a parade the 16th of December. The municipality and Community Life Downtown will do a supper for our elderly people the January 6th and it's all free for our old people. Well, you don't live in Swiss, sorry.
Bill from Shawville. Tomorrow night, United Church is having a beef supper. There's still some tickets left. They're $25, I believe. The ladies behind me might correct me if I'm wrong. Friday, there's a tree lighting ceremony at the Veterans Park. There will be Christmas caroling, etc. I won't be singing. Everybody would leave. McDowell School Craft Auction, Saturday the 25th from 10 to 4. It's a fundraiser for the school. And there's another street market, December 9th. The west portion of Main Street will be closed. Tables will be set up. And I hope Santa Claus isn't committed anywhere else, because we're going to need him in town at some point.
I will ask Sandra Armstrong from Mansfield. I will ask Raymond, Colleen, and Alain to make sure Santa Claus gets to Mansfield on the 2nd of December at 5, please. So no treats for Santa Claus. So this weekend on the 25th, Saturday, au domaine de la Maison Bryson, there'll be the marché de Noël d'antan dès 9h30 le matin et jusqu'à 2h. There'll be this Christmas market outside, like usually at the Bryson House, this Saturday. And then Tuesday, the 28th of November, at Petro, 209 Chemin de la Passe in Mansfield, Fort Calanche. It's Petro Mansfield, Fort Calanche. For the 50 years old and plus, it's presented by the Jeunes de Cœur. There's activities starting at 6:30. And then on the weekends of the 1st, 2nd December, 8 and 9, 15 and 16, and then on the 29th of December, from 5 o'clock to 9 au Parc des Chutes Coulanges, you could visit the lighting of Christmas. It's very beautiful, so you should be visiting. I'm enjoying inviting all you mayors to come, please. Parade de Noël organized by the two services d'incendie, the Fort Calanche et Mansfield. So it's the 2nd of December, like I said, and it's starting at the Caserne de Mansfield. You can join us at 5 o'clock. We leave there, then we'll go around town right up to the arena. And the rest I'll let Christine, because we share activities.
Sunday, December 3rd, there's a Christmas brunch for 50 plus at the Patro in Mansfield for Calanche. It's from 11:30 and the cost is $15. There's also une marche illuminée au Sentier du Patro on December 16th from 4 to 8 o'clock. Patro again, every Monday and Wednesday, they are having martial arts from 6 to 7. Patro again is having a journée. They'll be taking care of the kids while the teachers are have a PD day. So it's going to be on December 8th from 7:30 to 4:30.
Ed Walsh, Municipality of Clarendon. Santa Claus did find Clarendon, but we're going to be blending them with Shawville. So we're doing our Shawville Clarendon Christmas parade on Saturday, November the 25th. It's going to be a parade of lights, so it starts at 5 p.m. Also during the parade, we're doing a food drive and donation. So any money or food collected, we're going to donate to the local food banks. On the 6th of December, we're reviving our Christmas cheer supper for the seniors in our municipalities. It hasn't been done in 5 years. So anybody we've talked to, they're certainly glad to see it coming back. There's a Christmas market on Saturday, December the 16th. It's going to be held in the Shawville Lions Hall, and it's going to be running from 9 to 4.
Hello, Brent Orr, Mayor of Bristol. We will be enjoying the Festival of Lights in Shawville.
Robert Wills for Thorn. We were planning on having a bylaw that to not have any snow until late December. But I find that we didn't get the bylaw passed in time, so that the snow that falls may be grandfathered in, but it'll almost certainly be snowy and white in case anybody's running around with a sled.
Jean-Louis Corriveau, Mayor from Calumet Island. Nothing on the island, but I'll go at Bryson. We got Bryson to see Santa Claus because I think he's afraid to cross the bridge. I don't know. Thank you.
Good evening, Doris Range, Sheenborough. We don't have anything happening in Sheen, but we are kept busy with our neighboring municipality. They have a few things going on and we will join their parade. Thank you.
Corey Spence, Mayor Ilus Allumette, for the mayors that Santa Claus is not going to. Apparently you guys have been naughty this year, so that's the reason why. November 25th, Christmas market, 10 to 4 at the Chapeau Community Heritage Community Center in Chapeau. November 26th, we're having a breakfast put on by the Chapeau Lions Club, 8 till 12. December 3rd is our Christmas parade. It starts at 1 p.m. in the village of Chapeau. December 7th, this is for pretty much everybody in the area. Don't forget that the Booth Pontiac will be at Highway 148 near on Island, stopping people for donations. And December 13th, Young at Heart Christmas dinner, 1 p.m. at Harrington Community Center. That's it.
Oh, lots of good events all around the table. Nothing in Chichester, but I'll be attending whatever I can. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. That's important and great to see how much activity is in the Pontiac at this time of year. Now we go to our presentations, and we're going to begin with 13.1. And I'd like to, it's a special recognition of one of our 4-H club members, and her name is Casey Liffler. I'd like her to come up here to the front. Casey, come on up. So it came to our attention that Casey, who is 13 years of age at this point, lives in Mansfield, had the opportunity to go to the Royal Winter Fair and present her heifer. And we have some pictures that we'd just like to put up, which are beautiful pictures. And I'm going to give Casey a chance to talk about this experience. But Casey received an honorable mention for showmanship with her heifer. And Casey is the new president of the 4-H for this next year. And usually I think it's kids down in the Shawville area, and it's kind of rare that she's from Mansfield, the other end of the Pontiac. The other thing I learned today, we learned this at the agricultural consultation, that there are 85 kids in our 4-H in the Pontiac, and the next closest is another part of Quebec with 30. So we have 55 more than another part of Quebec. And so this, I think, tells us all that agriculture is going to be in great hands with so many younger people in the Pontiac interested. So could you explain each picture to us? We'll start with that picture.
So in this picture is, so I went through, there's 3 rounds. There was like 140 kids just in my age division. And I went through 3 rounds and I was selected the 2 times. And then the 3rd round was the final, where I was named honorable mention. So that's what's happening in this picture. The judge is shaking my hand. And that picture's a backdrop picture. So I took a picture with my ribbon that says I'm honorable mention. And that picture is me getting my nervousness out. Just walking around outside. I did about 150 laps around outside that day.
What is your cow's name?
So my heifer's name this year was actually Casey. So we had matching names.
And how?
So she's a yearling, so she's a year old. I'm very excited to be the new 4-H president, and this year the Quebec 4-H is very small, so there was only 8 members from all Quebec that participated in the show. But there was 2 from the Shawville 4-H club, so me and Reese Ressenstrom participated in that.
We're very proud of you, and we just want to give you a big round of applause. I met Casey and her father. She's here tonight with her dad, Josh Liffler, and is it her grandfather as well? And grandfather, father, and you were all at the Shawville Fair. That's where I met Casey. So that's wonderful. Next, we have another presentation, and I'm amazed at how many members have come out tonight. This is item 13.2, and we have Madame Lang and Madame Routlip, Helen Routlip and Elaine Lang from Stark's Corners Women's Institute, and they have a presentation to make about signalization. Would you like to come right up here? I've got the mic here. Okay, come on, Elaine. Thank you very much. And Elaine, you are the president of the Women's Institute, correct? Yes. And I'm actually a member, but unfortunately the monthly meetings are when we have our plenary. So you haven't seen me for quite a while. I hope I've paid my membership dues.
We'll get it in your hide. Hello, everybody. Warden Toller, Pontiac mayors and visitors. Thank you for allowing us to attend and for giving us an opportunity to explain our project. I am Elaine Lang, and I am representing the Pontiac County Women's Institute, and I'm very pleased to have so many of my fellow members here with us. You'd almost think it was an important thing we're doing. We are members of a community-based world organization that supports education, health, community, and agriculture in our mantra. We belong to the Quebec Women's Institute. All of us, including you, all traveled on Highway 148, 301, or 303 to get here tonight. We share the road with transports, motorcycles, boats, trailers, log trucks, campers, cars, slow drivers, fast drivers, and farm equipment. This is where our concern lies. The farmers in our area must use the roads to get from one farm to the other. They are on the road with their farm transports, hay wagons, combines, manure spreaders, small trucks, those spider sprayers, and everything in between, including tractors. We, the women of the Pontiac Women's Institute, are proposing that we install billboards along the highway to remind people to slow down and share the road. There have been accidents, a few come to mind. Years ago, 2 youth in separate accidents were killed in a tractor and hay wagon accidents. Recently, I recall a tractor was forced off the road close to Corriveau's farm. A tractor lost its front wheels when struck near the Brownlee farm. Smiley's big snow remover tractor had a driver hit the rear tractor tires while driving on 148 near Tanner's farm. And there was another tractor accident that happened near the Stewart farm in Bristol. So if we can save one life, prevent one accident, we should go for it. We are proposing that we install 6 billboards. Bear with me. This is what we're proposing. We are proposing that we install 6 billboards that measure 8 feet high, 12 feet wide, to be installed on private land with the owner's permission, of course, along the highway. The land would be donated and not rented. They will be made with a skin on the top that, that has the printing and so on, that would have reflective printing. They'd be made of steel mounted on plywood and have a sturdy base with reflective paint. There would be a sign along each highway coming into the Pontiac from Ottawa near Bristol, from Ontario on Highway 301 and 303 from Portage to 4, also from Pembroke near Îles-aux-Allumettes, coming from Ladysmith, and one on Highway 148 west of Shawville. The reason we say this is because, just for interest's sake, in the distance from the R&R farm that's at the service station at the bottom of the hill coming from Bryson, from the R&R farm to the flashing light in Shawville, there are 14 farms that access the road in that area. They must dread pulling out on the highway because the traffic there travels so fast. So we're hoping that these signs will help educate the drivers of the importance of sharing the road with farm equipment that travels at a slower speed. These signs, being large and strategically placed through the MRC, should help make our roads safer by making the drivers more aware. But we are stuck in a loop. This is where we need your help. We can't approach the MTQ until we know where the signs are going, and we can't know where they're going to be because we don't know. So we are asking for your guidance, information, support, and permission. How far from the center line can we place these signs to be out of MTQ jurisdiction? Are there sign size limitations in the various municipalities? Is the wording in compliance with the Quebec laws? Do we need a license? And is there someone at the MRC that's available to guide us? We feel that once we have your support and details we need for placement, this project will take off. We have contacted Andre Fortin, and we already have financial support from the UPA and Promutual Insurance. We are confident that financial help will come from various service clubs, individuals, and the farming community in all of Pontiac. We have some papers that we will hand out with our mock-up of the sign and our resolution. Thank you for your time, and we will be waiting to hear from you. One of the farmers I spoke with, when I asked him if he thought this was a good idea, and his answer was, build them soon and make them big. Thank you.
Elaine, thank you very much. I think you can see you've got support around the table for this. And Kim was whispering to me as you were speaking that Julian Gagnon was taking down all the notes for all of your questions. And when you say who could guide you at the MRC, it's Julian Gagnon. So I'm sure he'll be in contact with you and the Women's Institute. So we say bravo to you. Thank you so much. And I know that the main motto of the Women's Institute, it's home and country, but it's very much focused on agriculture, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. And so really, you're the best people to be asking for this. And many of you, if you're not farming right now, come from farms. So thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. And the last time that you came before us, I think you are always successful when you come here to the MRC and ask for things. So thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments from the mayors? So as far as next steps go, after Julian guides us through the process, if it would mean a resolution being passed here at this table to send to the MTQ on your behalf, we will do that. And ladies, please feel free to stay for our whole meeting if you would like to. Otherwise, if you have other things to do, I won't say better things, we understand. Oh, Helen, you do. Great. And we'll say Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you for coming. And Casey, if you want to leave, you can as well, whatever you'd like to do. Thank you very much. And there probably are media people that will want to speak to all of you outside. Thank you. So now we go to the next presentation, 13.3. And we have Claude Gallipo, who has been an employee at the MRC for a long time and has now gone on to another career. However, Claude had an amazing opportunity to go internationally to London, was it? England. So I'm going to pass her the microphone, and Claude is going to explain everything about what she was doing and describe this program and some amazing results that were achieved. If you could stand here, this will be the best place.
Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Hi, everyone. I miss you all. I really do. I hope it's not too boring without me. Visage Réunion is the marketing company that MRC Pontiac went ahead and employed a few years ago to do several different studies, and as studies became into, hey, why don't you guys work on this tourism plan? And so this has been years in the making. And when we came up with the van life Route 148 project, we had no idea of the significance that it would take. So back in the fall Visage Régionaux submitted all their projects that they had worked with. So there was a community project in Abitibi-Témiscamingue, and there was also another project in La Mercé d'Antoine Labelle. So there were different types of projects. We were nominated for a tourism project. Among the list, we were finalists within the many admissions that they got, but we were retained. And among the list, there was things like South of Africa and Fiji. And there was a lot of different, and I remember sitting there at the conference and saying to myself, like, there's no way we're winning this. And surprise, we didn't. But I was so proud to be standing, you know, amongst these people in those projects, because we were being internationally recognized for a small project that meant a lot to my predecessors and our past directors. So we decided at that, then I said, you know what, we already won, because we're here. And I was happy to be able to share that with other members. So you see a picture there right now. So there's Anne-Emmanuel, Claudia, Marie-Ève. I'm in the back, but there's other people that have went there, that went there with their projects from Abitibi, from Mercé Antoine Labelle. There is actually as well a video. Je sais pas si vous l'avez. And the video is because what they did is they did a reel of all the nominations. And so I taped. So I don't know if the sound's going to play. Plays, come on. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Okay. So yeah, so routes to your best fan life you knew to wear. So this was shown. I know it's a little hard to see, but it was just doing a reel of like the projects and everything, but everybody that was there saw it. So yeah, so and it was really something else. And listening to the panels, we were and we are on the right track. I just wanted to remind that. And when Warden Toller and our general director reached out and said, Claude, would you like to come and just explain and present this to the mayors? I was happy to, because I was really proud to had gone and to see light shine on our projects. So that's Buckingham Palace with my toque.
Can you just explain who some of the other countries were and how MRC Pontiac did in the end with the van life?
Okay. So like I was saying before, every project that was retained were big tourism industry projects. So as there was South Africa, there was Fiji, there was these enormous money-driven projects that was submitted. And the fact that, like I was saying before, that we got retained, I was saying to myself, you know, we are a front runner. We're able to be a front runner and to continue to be and to try different things. But to go back to one of the panelists said, sometimes you try things and they might not work out, but you tried it. And I was, you know, really happy to say that we tried something and it caught fire and it's doing really well. Just last week, I saw a van lifer that I almost tracked down because I wanted to give him a sticker or stickers for the van life, because I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much for coming. They're like, oh, we've been here for over a week. And even if it's cold, there's stops that are still open and there's stops that will be opening, you know, within the next year for van lifers especially. So I was really happy. So I said, you know what, whatever we did and what we're doing is working, and tap on the back to everybody that, you know, supported it, because they think that we did really well.
I think it's really important that even though Claude is not working here, that this was her project, that she took the initiative, that she went to London, represented us, and most of all, this is the first time we've ever had any kind of international recognition, is it not? I don't think, well, for sure. So thank you so much, Claude. Thank you for coming and taking the time to tell us about it. And I think you're right. It's a big indication that you're on the right track at finding something that makes this unique for the Pontiac. So thank you so much and continued success, and stay if you would like. Okay. Thanks, Claude. Okay, now we will go to finances. I will need a resolution after Annie presents her financial report.
Hello. So this one's for the MRC. Right now, so we have $1,208,887.12 in accounts receivables. There's about 850,000 of that are the loans, and the rest is just the regular receivables. We have a list of bills to pay for $165,768.08. And the checks made in the last month total $198,616.91. There were some FR Stream 2 grants that were paid, and SHQ files, training for firefighters, some cultural files as well, and our regular monthly bills like phone and hydro. And lastly, we have the mayor's travel expenses for the regular meetings. So that's $1,809.57.
Thank you, Annie. Any questions or comments on the financial report? If not, could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Terry Lafleur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 14.2, closing. Acts CPA, a resolution. Annie.
Yes, this is a resolution. The accounting firm that we are presently doing business with for the audit of the MRC financial statements, they're closing the Access CPA Inc. firm, but the two of the owners are going on their own to start a new one, which will be Dignard Thibault CPA. And so we need to pass a resolution to continue working with them with their new firm. So we're going to transfer our files with them and just continue on like we did. Yeah.
Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. And now 14.3, Budget 2024, Summary. Annie Biancourt.
I just have a few extra copies here if anybody from All right, so this is the presentation for the 2024 MRC budget. So it's up on the screen. You have first slide talks about the revenues. So so the MRC is predicting a revenue of $9,858,728 for 2024, compared to $9,504,058 from 2023. And what you can see in the pie charts there is just how the revenues are separated, where they come from. So mostly from shares and grants, which makes up almost the whole budget. And then you have other revenues. And for the 2024 budget, there's an amount of appropriated surplus. And at the bottom, you see the actual amounts. The next slide. So for the expenses and investments, so a municipal budget always has to balance, meaning that expenses has to equal the revenues. And here you just have a breakdown of all the expenses totaling up the 9.8 million. So by department, so you can see, just get an image of how everything is spent. So a lot in development, but as we saw, we get a lot of grants. So that's why the expenses kind of match what we get for revenues. Now for more details, we'll look at the numbers for revenues and expenses. So you have three columns: the budget 2024, 2023, and then the variation between the 2 years. So the shares for 2024 will be $4,206,500, which is an increase of $54,396 from 2023. Then we have revenues that come from other sources. So municipal services, $178,564. Mostly that comes from the TNO. Then we have the license office here. So that brings in about 130,000. We saw an increase in the revenues in the past couple of years. So we've adjusted that. We have the leases. So $608,611, which is actually the equal amount of the expenses. The revenues are higher, but we just match the expenses for budget reasons so that there's no surplus or deficit at the end. And then we have other revenues, which include sale for tax, professional services, interest, the loyer for the School of Arts, the rent fees. And that revenue is down from 2023 because we used to have the engineering services, which right now we have no engineering department. So that's why you see a difference, negative difference here. Then we have the grant revenues. So all the transfers we get from government, diversification of revenue we get every year. So that one is $214,089. So that's just a little increase from last year. For the subvention salariale, $2,000. In 2023, we had budgeted also for training, which we're not eligible anymore to apply for. So it's just for the student grant. Then we have the SHQ, 35,000, same as last year. And also the management. So that's the PADF, subvention liée à l'aménagement du territoire, $672,584. Same as last year. So that's the forestry development. And then we have all the grants related to economic development, $3,060,683. That one's up a bit due to the Ministry of Culture. We're getting a bit more there. And you have the FR streams 1 through 4. So a lot of funds coming through that one. And then we also receive grants from the MTQ, which are transferred over to Transport Action or Transcolline. And our PPJ maintenance. So that's a grant that we apply every year. So we this year applied for the full amount of 125,000, whereas last year we had only done 100,000. So we have a total revenue of about 9.7 million, which is an increase of 209,000 from last year. And we're going to appropriate 144,897 to balance the budget at the 9.8 million. So for the expenses, they're also separated by departments. So in administration, the first line, which is legislation, is the mayor's council. So $368,751. This includes their remuneration of the mayors, their travel expenses, meals. There's an amount that's allocated and reserved every year for the elections that happen every 4 years. Then we have salaries, benefits, travel expenses, etc., for all the administrative staff at the MRC, which is about 12 employees in this section here. There's professional services or professional fees, legal fees, our auditors. We budgeted 51,000, same as last year. And then any other expenses. So in there, we can have like translation, software, communications, association fees, subscriptions. And that one is 147,937. But there's an increase there of 34,000. We've budgeted this year the donations and sponsorship for 10,000. So that's one part of the increase. Also, the overhead expenses are a bit more, and public notices as well. Then we have the line for engineering and infrastructure, which we had a full department last year. So now, because we're not anticipating the same, we put in a few expenses. We have only 5,700 here. For public security, so fire safety, and we have $130,798. This is really for the actual like Department of Public Security. It's not including salaries or anything. It's the travel expenses, training, etc., equipment. And you see a big increase from last year because there's also a contract that was added for 2024 for fire prevention technician services for inspections, which will be financed by the FR Stream 2. Also, a new thing that was added as well in the budget in public security is 20,000 for the training that's happening at the ESSC school for Firefighter 1. And this program is subsidized, but there's a portion that has to be paid by the MRC. Then we have animal control. So that's with the SPCA, $112,104. Last year was actually more than the 97 that we see here because we found out after the budget that it was going to be more. So it's not actually an increase of 14,000. We did pay more in 2023. For the assessment department, we have again salaries, benefits, travel expenses, training, etc., for $363,623. There's a decrease there from 2023. Just because we kind of reallocated some of our employees that work in the territory department that were doing inspections sometimes a couple of months a year for the assessment department, and they don't spend as much time doing that now. So we've decreased the portion of their salary that goes here. Then we have contracts in this department. So 3 different types of contracts: technical services, inspections, and then our evaluator who signs off. So that's $710,733. And then we have all the software and other expenses, which include legal fees, a contract for calculations, which explains part of the increase there. And then there was a large increase as well for the PG software. So that's $208,067. The next one is professional HR. So it's a grouping of professional staff for $607,520. There's a large variation negative from the year before because of the engineering employees that are not in there anymore. Then for hygiène du milieu, waste management, that's again just the management of the department, $30,728. Which includes some professional services that they use for their waste management planning and some overhead expenses as we see in each department. In the land use planning and development section, so we have for the land use aménagement, $11,039, which is quite lower than 2023. In 2023, we had a few projects that were budgeted and also translation for the land use plan. So a lot of the projects are still ongoing, but are with the expenses that we had budgeted in 2023. So they're not repeated in 2024. And then the other line, we have 100,000, which has been budgeted for the actual revision of the land use plan. And a large portion of that will be about 80% or so financed by FR Stream 2. Then we have the geometric department, $17,754, less an amount that's less than 2023 by about 26,000, mostly because of a contract that we had an entente with the ODO, the Observatoire Développement de l'Outaouais, which is no longer in our budget. So that's what makes up that difference there. Then the leases for $608,611. The increase for the leases is an extra employee. Then we have all the development, so economic development, the FRR funds that are spent. So 2,134,533. And yes, so there's it's the same amounts as we always get for FRR stream 2, but the MRC usually will budget some funds that are for MRC projects, like pre-engaged projects. But there was less in 2024 than we had budgeted in 2023, which is why you see a difference there. Then we have the Réseau des Sentiers, so the trails, PPJ, we have the Rocher à l'Oiseau, the waterways included in this line as well, 285,000. So there's an increase there, 50,000, which is the PPJ. Since in 2023, we had budgeted 200,000 for the PPJ instead of 250. For culture and heritage, 130,000 compared to 40,000 in 2023. So the Ministry of Culture will more than likely be honoring their commitment anyways to finance the project for the inventory of the heritage buildings in the Pontiac and giving us an extra $50,000. So that's why the expense is that extra 50,000 plus the MRC puts in another plus 30,000. So that's why there's a difference there. Transportation. So those are the grants that we get from the MTQ that we mentioned in the revenues. And then we just expense them right out to Transport Action or Transcolline, 328,600. It's the same as last year. Then the MRC has a contribution that they have to pay to Transport Action and also to Transcolline. For 2024, it's 305,900, an increase of 29,000. This is for Transcolline is the one that has the increase this year. Special projects is 75,500. In there is our share in Connexion Fibre-Picanok, the expenses for the art school in Portage, sale for tax expenses, and our tourism office that we have here at the MRC for our summer students. After that, we have the PADF, so the partnerships and the development. So the PADF, which is a forestry development program for the Outaouais, which is managed here at the MRC. So that's $701,955. That amount also includes tourism marketing for $75,000. In the development, $795,323. That's actually the department here at the MRC, so the staff and all of their expenses, so travel and training, association fees. There's one less resource, which is why you see that it's a bit less than last year. And then you have all the overhead expenses of 56,000 for all the land use and development. And the SHQ program, 31,500. And then the other 7,200 is like insurance for at the chutes for what the MRC owns there and expenses on our electric vehicle. Then we have financing costs. So that's our long-term loans for the building here. So in 2024, our capital and interest will be $70,019. And then we have our capital expenditures, les dépenses en capital, 40,300. What's planned here is 12,000 for the building, 15,000 for IT equipment, which is not just your regular keyboard, mouse, and stuff like that, but more computers or servers or any larger expenses. Also, public security, like Julien mentioned a while ago, the mask fit test machine. There's also a plan to purchase a side-by-side for the off-road rescues, which will be shared with the TNO, so paid 50-50 by each organization. So that gives you a total of the expenses of $9,858,728, which matches the revenues. As I was mentioning through the presentation in each department, there's overhead expenses. So you can see what those are exactly, and they're just separated between each department depending on the size of the department and how much the use of the building. So the total for those is 276,942. A lot of the amounts are similar to last year, like it's mostly for your postage expense and building and grounds, heating, electricity, and phones. So mainly the difference here for 2024 is an increase for our IT technician, since he's a shared resource between ourselves and the MRC Vallée de la Gatineau and Connexion Fibre-Canuck. So we're anticipating with Connexion Fibre-Canuck that's kind of fading away, that we will have to share this resource more on a 50-50 basis between the two MRCs. The next slides are all about the municipal values and the shares. So the first one here is the evolution of the standardized values. So for each municipality, you can see what their standardized value has been since 2022, and then the percentage of increase every year since then. So I'm not going to read all these numbers. It's just for everyone to look at, but you can see the last 2 years, 2023 and 2024, a large increase in the 20 some percent. So quite large. The next slide has the shares. So you have your column for 2024 comparing with 2023 and what the difference is for each municipality. Because of the standardized values for everyone and the comparative factors, everyone has their percentage of shares that they pay. So some municipalities will see a decrease from last year in their shares, and some will see an increase. The rate per $100 of valuation has gone down from $13.29 to $10.47. The next slide shows the evolution of the shares. Again, just for your information, if you want to compare from 2021 to 2024 with the variation percentage every year. So you see from 2021 to 2022, almost 10% increase. And then we saw a large increase last year of 21.69%. And then for 2024, we've tried to keep it on a more stable at 1.31%. And then the last one shows basically where the shares go per municipality. So you can see each department of the MRC, so general administration, evaluation, public security, animal control, your waste management, land planning. So each municipality, all of their shares are separated in all of these different departments. So then they're able to use these amounts for their own budgets. And the shares are invoiced 3 times during the year for 3 equal payments. So, and that's it for the presentation. So I don't know if there's any questions.
So first of all, I'd like to say, Annie, thank you very much. That was a good presentation. A lot of talking that you had to do. Our budget committee had at least 3 meetings prior to this, and you even today gave us some more information that we needed. So are there any other comments or questions around the table right now on the budget? Yes, and so we will be now moving the resolution. Who would like to move this? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. 14.4, the bylaw 289/2024 for the expenses and revenues of the Pontiac MRC for 2024. Annie, present this, please.
Yes, so the resolution that we just passed was the summary of the budget, and then this resolution is the actual bylaw that you can all read. It just has the same bylaws every year, and it has all the same expenses, revenues, all the information that was just presented to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Moved by Mayor Alain Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you, Annie. Good work. Yes, I did intentionally because I heard from our president of the Youth Council. She was driving from Ottawa in a lot of snow and she was concerned that she wouldn't get here on time. But I know what she was going to report on was that the Youth Council are concerned about the flashing lights still at Maple. And I just wanted to ask Mayor Bill McCleary, is your Shawville Council moving any kind of resolution on that or? Wonderful, because this came from Sid Sharp, one of our members of the committee. And, you know, they're very anxious to see that it's dangerous.
Actually, Julianne could probably give a better update.
Yeah, Julianne, would you like to give us an update on it, please?
Sure. There is a financial assistance program right now that's out by the Quebec government, I think managed by the MTQ, that is available for all road safety projects. That installation of those signs are to be submitted. I believe it opened 2 days ago until January 15th. Projects totaling up to $350,000, I believe at 80%. So take note of that for any other municipalities that may want that information, but those signs will be, the project will be submitted to that financial assistance program so that we may install in 3 locations in Shawville crosswalks with flashing lights.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Julian. And the other thing that Riley wanted to announce is that the Youth Council have chosen a speaker for their mental health forum. And it's going to be held either Friday morning, February 16th or February 23rd. And it's very exciting. It's actually a performer from Cirque du Soleil, who's also a dancer, a singer, and a songwriter. He's young, he's attractive, but earlier in his life, he had an addiction to drugs. So he also speaks fluently. He's bilingual. And this is what we need because the plan is to have, if all goes well, a few hundred kids all assembled at Pontiac High School. And we'll give you more details as the time comes. I would think there'd be many mayors around the table who would like to be present at that. And there is going to be a financial request made because it does cost $4,000. Andre Fortin 3 years ago gave us $1,000. And I believe he might be forthcoming with some more, but we do need to raise a bit of money, and we will also be asking the school boards. So this is what Riley would have said. Riley's doing an outstanding job, and she's very sorry to have had to miss tonight. We will now go to 15.1. We have a resolution about the bylaw 291/2024 for the assemblies of the MRC.
Thank you. Première résolution pour moi ce soir, c'est un règlement pour voir les séances des assemblées du conseil pour l'année 2024. So this is a bylaw for our assemblies for 2024. As per usual, we will have our council meetings on the 3rd Wednesdays of every month, except for in November for budget. And this year, we're also going to make an exception for January. So it will be the 4th week of the month for January and November.
What is the reason for January again?
Because of the way the stat holidays work, whenever we come back from Christmas vacation, it's usually the week after. There's not much time to have new points to add after the December meeting. So this just gets us a little extra time.
Very good. Just in case I was asked, I wanted to know what the answer was. Thank you. Resolution, please. Moved by Mayor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor? opposed, and that carries. 15.2, the calendar for 2024.
So similar to the budget, there's two resolutions for the same thing. So one's for the bylaw for the assemblies, and the second one is to adopt the calendar of those assemblies.
Any questions? Moved by Marilyn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.3. We've got 4 sales for taxes. I'll just give you the microphone. Thank you, Kim.
J'ai 4 résolutions pour des ventes aux enchères qui nécessitent une résolution autorisant la DG et la préfète à signer l'acte de vente. So I have 4 items for resolution for past tax sale auctions that require a resolution that authorizes myself and Warden Toller to sign the deed prepared by the notary. So we have 1 for Bryson, 2 for Campbell's Bay, and 1 for Thorn. So Jane, you can pass each resolution one at a time.
Okay, thank you. The first one for Bryson, moved by Mayor Christine Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. For Campbell's Bay, moved by Mayor Lucy Rivet-Paquette. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Another one for Campbell's Bay, moved by Mayor Jean-Louis Corriveau. All those in favor? Opposed? That carries. And finally for Thorn, moved by Mayor Terry Lafleur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you, Kim. 15.7, Île-la-Fontaine National Park Committee.
Une résolution pour ajouter des noms, échanger des noms pour le comité du Parc national des Îles-la-Fontaine. So changes to the composition of the Île-la-Fontaine National Park Committee. We're going to add Jason Duran, Director of Territory. We're going to replace Chantal Lair by Stephanie Hébert-Shea, a new commissioner and development group. And then we've also offered if a 5th elected official would like to join the group, and Mr. Raymond Pilon, Mayor of Campbell's Bay, has graciously accepted.
Very good. So we need a resolution to approve all of that. Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.8, an agreement between MRC Pontiac and SPCA. Kim?
Une résolution pour conclure un protocole d'entente avec la SPCA. So considering that our current agreement with SPCA Outaouais expires at the end of the month, the services provided by the organization on our territory is for animal control, and it would be proposed to enter a new agreement for 1 year with the SPCA, and it has also already been included in the budget. I believe it's for $112,000.
Any questions or comments? Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.9, Trans-Cullen request for 2023 funding, maintenance of intercity transportation services on Route 148. Kim?
Une résolution pour le maintien du service de transport interurbain sur la route 148. C'est pour une demande de financement. So this resolution for Trans-Caroline is for a funding for the maintenance of the intercity transportation service on Route 148. And it's for an application for financial assistance for the component 3 of the PADTC program of the Ministry of Transportation for 2023.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Okay, could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by Marilyn Cameron. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.10, the proposal for FQM évaluation foncière tenue à jour.
Une résolution pour une offre de service de la FQM pour des travaux de calcul pour des dossiers en statut de vérification. So this is for a contract with the FQM, considering that our assessment department has had at least 2 vacant positions for most of 2023, sometimes 3 positions. We have over 2,000 files that are awaiting calculation, and this number is just going to continue to grow because of our ongoing inspections. So we require external support to reduce this number. Right now, we currently have a contract with Service d'Évaluation of FQM as our evaluator. So they've offered to, they provided an estimate for us for at least 700 files for a total of $10,000 to provide these calculations. So it would be proposed to accept this offer and for myself to sign the documents.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Moved by Mayor Raymond Pilon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. The next item, a need was expressed by both Pontiac. The mayors all heard about this during plenary, and it was unanimously decided that we would assist. And so I will let Kim explain what the gift will be to both Pontiac, and the person receiving it couldn't be here tonight, but has prepared a video of thanks.
So at the last plenary meeting with all of the Council of Mayors, I was informed, and it wasn't a request from Boeuf Pontiac. She was at a meeting with somebody and mentioned that she was having a really hard time because of the cost of food and groceries for the Christmas baskets for the families in need, and that the turkeys were double the price. So she was going to be looking at getting small chickens instead of turkeys. And that difference in price was, I think it is over $4,200 plus taxes. So the Table of Mayors believes that it's important at Christmas to be able to have a turkey, and that we have some funds available. So we've made a proposition to give a $5,000 donation so that these baskets could be given. Kim Laroche, the Director General of Boeuf Pontiac, couldn't be here today, but I told her that, of course, if the resolution passes tonight, that they might be getting a little present, because I know she was going to order her chickens and I wanted her to know. So she sent a little video, and you can, yes, please. Well, her video is just.
I know, but let's vote first. Who would like to move? So thank you, Kim, for bringing. They do a lot of good work for us. I don't know how we would look after all of the people that they do. 15.12, formal notice of file 40050-002. Kim?
On a besoin d'une résolution concernant une mise en demeure. So we need a resolution concerning a formal notice, file number 4005002. We have noted the presence of defamatory, tentative, and derogatory comments about the MRC Pontiac and its employees on social networks, and particularly a Facebook platform. So we've mandated the firm RPGL to take necessary steps, among other things, to put an end to such comment about the MRC and its employees and request retraction of those comments. So we needed a resolution to do this, for RPGL to undertake those steps and to request the retraction of the comments. We need a resolution also that agrees that I'm authorized to sign for, in the name of the MRC, all documents ratifying the present resolution.
Thank you. Moved by Mayor Alain Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 15.13, simultaneous translation software. Kim?
This is a point of information. It's been included in the budget, but I thought it'd be interesting to share that we're going to purchase some software for simultaneous translation. It's for a package for 25 hours for a 1-year period that's usable at a minute rate. So if you use it for 4 minutes, then you're just using up 25, part of that 25 hours. It's $2,415, which includes setup and a training session. And so when we have presentations that are only in English or only in French, or public consultations to give chance for translation, we're going to be using this software in the coming year.
Thank you, Kim. It's a big step in the right direction. And I just want to give credit to Mayor Corey Spence, because Corey Spence, for his meeting that was very well attended in L'Île aux Alumettes, it was about the hydro issue, and a number of us were there. We were very impressed with how that worked. And Corey, do you have a quick comment about it?
Just happy that you guys that we're getting it, so it'll help everybody.
Puis puisque je parle de la traduction, je vais l'annoncer en français. On va s'approvisionner d'un logiciel de traduction simultanée pour 2023. C'est un package de 25 heures qui sont utilisables à la minute pour un coût de 2415 $. Fait que c'est pour assurer de la traduction pendant des présentations ou des consultations publiques. Merci.
Merci pour cette traduction. Okay. So did we vote on that? Yes, did we vote on that? Oh, it was information, pardon me. Yes, but it's included in the budget, you did mention. 16, economic development. Guillaume Boudreau, our director. I'll pass the mic to you. 16.1, first of all, FRR2 funding program, festivals and events.
Thank you. Merci. Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. We need a resolution here for FR2 program for festival and events funding program. There was we opened for the events that will take place between January and May 2024. And we had a budget of $20,000 for that. This year, we have received two projects. One is Chute Coulonge, and the other one is Festival Country de Fort-Coulonge, Mansfield. The first one, Chute Coulonge Festival des Lumières, for $2,000, which is recommended to allocate these funds, as well as the second project, Festival Country Fort-Coulonge and Mansfield, for $3,000, and it's recommended to allocate that amount. We need a resolution for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Next, item 16.2, Development Projects Analysis Committee, recommendations from FRR Stream 2. Guillaume.
Thank you. Next resolution, recommandation du comité d'analyse des projets structurants FRR volet 2, Development Projects Analysis Committee recommendations, again, from the budget FRR Stream 2 for this year. We have received 14 requests from promoters for a total of $572,577 that were requested in funds. And here's the list of the projects that we have that we are recommending. for funding. First, Chevalier de Colomb, Fort Coulonge, addition of insulation and ventilation for the attic of the community hall. Total project amount is $52,478, and the amount allocated that we recommend is $41,982. Second project is honoring our roots from le groupe L. It is phase 2, so it's to finish the gazebo for that project. Total amount of the project is $45,224, and the amount recommended is $36,178. Third project is municipality of Thorn, aménagement du multicomplexe phase 2. So multi-complex development phase 2. Total project cost $41,489. Amount allocated $33,191. The next project is for the municipality of Otter Lake, the Otter Lake recreational grounds and water playground improvement. It's the phase 3, so it's for the rest area. Total cost of the project is $35,094. Amount allocated is $26,000. And the last project on the list is municipality of Île du Grand Calumet pour le parc La Jeunesse Park, donc pour l'île du Grand Calumet. Le coût total du projet, total cost of the project, $82,752, and the amount allocated is $66,201. Adds up to the sum of $203,554. I'll repeat that. Total sum of projects allocated $203,554. Thank you. And so we need a resolution to allocate these funds. Thank you.
Thanks, Guillaume. Any comments or questions? Put your hand up. Moved by Mayor Odie Godin. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And so Colleen is Mayor LaRiviere leaving the room. Okay, thank you. So the 16.3 is an amendment request to the FRR2 Les Amis du Manoir Saint-Joseph. Guillaume?
Thank you. In 2022, last year in October, there was funds allocated to Les Amis du Manoir Saint-Joseph from FRR2, the exact fund that we just passed a resolution for this year. So we need a resolution here to modify. It's a technical thing. It's just to modify the percentage of the financing. So the amount of money that was allocated last year to Le Manoir Saint-Joseph for their project, installation of a generator, was $70,000. We're not changing that amount of money that was allocated last year. The only thing is that the budget for the actual project changed a little bit. So the amount of money that was allowed last year was to be 30.96% of the project. In fact, it will be 33.65% of the total cost of the project. So it is still $70,000 that comes from that fund last year. So no different amount of money is going in or out of that fund. It's just a technical to change the percentage. Thank you.
Thank you, Guillaume. Any comments or questions? Okay, move.
Could I have a written copy of it? One of those is for Thorn, but their numbers go by so fast that I don't have time to write them down.
Oh, so it's the one on Thorn that you would like? Yes,
Yes.
perfect. Okay, very good. So now we're voting on the Litchfield or the Memoir, it's Campbell's Bay, Memoir, pardon me? Exact. Moved by Mayor Doris Ranger. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. So the next item, Mayor La Riviere can return. 16.4, Entente Sectorielle, the sectoral agreement. Guillaume?
Thank you. We are now in negotiation to renew the Entente sectorielle with the Conseil des Arts et des Lettres du Québec. Translate that for you here. If there's a translation for that. Well, no translation, but I mean, we're renewing the sectorial agreement with the Conseil des Arts and Arts and Letters of Quebec. It's an agreement that's taking place between them, the 4 MRCs of the Outaouais, as well as Gatineau. We're renewing for the next 3 years. We've been contributing $6,000 per year in the last years, and we will remain contributing the same amount of money, $6,000 per year for the next 3 years. That is part of the resolution. Also, as we negotiate this, we'd like to add to this resolution the $6,000 per year, also to appoint myself as representative of the Partners Committee for the MRC Pontiac, also to appoint Coordinator of Social Development Sabrina Harris as a resource person, representative, and recipient of notices and communications, as noted in the sectoral agreement. And finally, to retain the Warden Jane Toller as signatory of that agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Okay, moved by Mayor Christine Francoeur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 16.5, surplus of funds, the carnival activities.
Thank you. There's a surplus of funds for our sports and leisure budget for 2023, and the year's almost, it's almost Christmas. So the year's almost over. $3,800 are left in that budget, and we'd like to recommend that we use that amount of money to support municipalities that will have a carnival coming up in the holiday season. I think it's a custom here in the Pontiac to have a carnival in that time of year, and we'd like to have a resolution so we can use these funds and approach the municipalities and work with them in that sense. Thank you.
Any comments or questions? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. And your final item, Guillaume, 16.6, Public Consultation Forum 1 for the revision of the Agricultural Zone Development Plan, PDZA.
Thank you, Jane. So last point here for me tonight is a point of information. The PDZA is being renewed this year. And we had a public consultation this morning. It was led by Shanna Armstrong, which you've all met before, Commissioner in Agriculture. She was assisted with the consultant that was hired by the MRC to work the PDZA with Shanna. I've been there. I was there this morning, as well as Jane and Monsieur Gagnon and Madame Cameron. And I can tell you, I was impressed with how it was led. I think there's a lot that came out of that public consultation. We were hoping for 30 people to participate. We had 42, so we had to put some more chairs at the tables. It was really well led, good focus sessions. I'm really optimistic about the results that will come out of the public consultation. There's going to be 3 phases of that, but just a piece of information. It was well made and impressive. I think it's ça augure bien. It's looking positively. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move that? Oh, it was just information. Thank you very much, Guillaume. Great job. 17, public safety, Julian Gagnon. 17.1, the purchase of a side-by-side ATV for off-road rescue program, SUMI.
Yes, good evening, everyone, again. This is a resolution, in fact, for those who may not be aware, we have an off-road rescue program that's being offered by 2 local fire departments in the county. They were, up until this summer, the municipalities of Mansfield and the fire service from Pontiac West. When we equip these local fire departments with equipment to do these off-road rescues in 2018. We were lucky enough to save the costs of a second side-by-side. We had purchased 1 side-by-side and 2 snowmobiles for these teams. The Pontiac West Fire Department had a side-by-side, and this summer the equipment was transferred from Pontiac West to the municipality of Otter Lake, and of course the side-by-side did not follow for obvious reasons. They were the proper owners of that vehicle. So therefore we were required to go out and find another or purchase another side-by-side in order to equip that team with the proper equipment. That being said, we invited local businesses to submit prices for a side-by-side that is of the same style as the one we purchased in 2018. We received 2 bids from our local MRC dealers. Campbell's Polaris quote was $36,500, and Lepines in Chichester was $35,399, which of course Lepines would therefore be the lowest bid. The MRC is budgeted 1/3 of the funds for 2024, so we're expecting a financing over 3 years for this vehicle. And this resolution before you tonight is to approve the winning bid on the side-by-side from Lepines.
Any comments or questions on this? So could I have someone move this resolution, moved by Mayor Odie Gaudin? All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. 17.2, proposal for an intermunicipal agreement to set up a fit testing service.
Yeah, so as mentioned earlier in the TNO meeting, the MRC would like to set up a fit testing service for its local municipalities. This requires a intermunicipal agreement to be able to offer that service. Of course, that service is proposed in this intermunicipal agreement as being a free service for all local municipalities, including those municipalities that offer firefighting services to municipalities within our MRC. So this includes possibly the municipality of Casabazua or even Laurentian Hills in Ontario that services Rapide des Joachins in firefighting. For all these fire services, their fire departments and firefighters are required to take this fit test. It's a health and safety law that they do this every 2 years minimally, if not more. And for those reasons, it's very difficult to find a outside contractor to come in and give that service. They're obviously all from the either Montreal area or further away. So for those reasons, we'd like to take advantage of a grant that's available and provide that service internally here at the MRC. Therefore, we need to adopt or propose, we are proposing to our municipalities this intermunicipal agreement tonight.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Who would like, do you have a question or a comment?
No, sorry. You may have to hop and pop, but it's very no.
Who would like to move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Colleen LaRiviere. All those in favor, opposed, and that carries. 17.3, adoption of the Fire Safety Cover Plan Implementation Plan, MRC Council.
Yeah, so part 1 of 2 resolutions to be adopted, of course, as we did with the TNO earlier. The implementation plan has now been adopted by all local municipalities of the MRC. Therefore, we need to obviously, of course, adopt the same implementation plan at the MRC level, because of course the MRC does have responsibilities as per the new fire safety cover plan, which will come next. So we'd like to adopt the implementation plan.
Any comments or questions? Who would like to move this resolution? Moved by Mayor Ed Walsh. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Do you need to introduce the 17.4 or? All right, go ahead.
So now that the implementation plan is adopted at all levels of the MRC, we can officially adopt a resolution proposing the transmission of the proposed fire safety cover plan to the Ministry of Public Security. Essentially, to give a brief overview, all the steps have been followed. We had a public consultation earlier this month on the fire safety cover plan. Essentially, the document itself is a lengthy document, but essentially it is comprised of all the actions in the implementation plan and our steps that will, along with our local municipalities, provide the best coverage possible for our citizens in firefighting. It can be summed up in about 3 different terms or actions. They are fire prevention, analysis of fires or existing fires or history of fires and the risks on our territory, and of course, firefighting or the intervention part of the plan. So this is a 10-year document that will be adopted tonight for transmission, and we're hoping that it be accepted.
Thanks, Julian. Any comments or questions? Would like to move this, moved by Mayor Donnie Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 17.5, the cost for school firefighter training program. Julian.
Yes, this is a resolution proposed for the, I guess, assuming the costs of the training program that's being offered currently at ESSC, the high school in Mansfield, to offer to high school students the Firefighter 1 program. We've adopted resolutions in the past to apply for grants and funding, but of course, the grant doesn't cover 100% of the expenses, and therefore someone has to assume those costs. Normally in a firefighting aspect or looking at it from a point of view of the MRC, generally the expenses are billed to the local municipalities in which the firefighters are coming from. But in this case, these are high school students that do not have a local fire department or municipality that they are attached to. Therefore, we are proposing that the MRC incur those costs over the next 2 years in 2024 and 2025. On that note, I'd like to announce that on December 11th is a Monday. We would invite all elected officials, mayors, and even the media. There's a training session happening from 4 to 8 p.m. in the evening. So around 6 p.m., we'd like to set up a little photo opportunity and little discussion. We'll have stations with these firefighter students. They'll be all geared up in bunker suits, and they'll have even a truck from either Mansfield or Fort Collonges to be determined. And we're hoping to have everybody out to promote this program. We're hoping we have a few mayors and anybody who would like to submit. It will be happening at the school at SSC in Mansfield. Chemin de la Chute.
Did you say approximately how many students are interested?
We currently have a group that started a couple weeks ago, or 2 to 3 weeks ago. We have a group of 18 students that will take the training over 2 years, half of which are graduating class students this year. So we're hoping that because it is a 2-year program, of course, they will not be in high school next year. That is why we accepted a larger group than normal. We're hoping that these students can become, once they graduate, local firefighters in local municipalities, and maybe the training will continue in their local fire halls. But that being said, it is a group of 18. There was lots of demand. These students are very, very, have a lot of intention to proceed the entire way through. There's a lot of motivation. They received their equipment and are very, very happy to do so. And I'm sure they would love to thank you all for your generous support.
And we would like to thank you, Julian, because this was your initiative and the mayors were concerned about dwindling numbers and the future for firefighting. And this is a total success. And I think you've inspired these kids because you're so young. Colleen?
Do we have many young women? Awesome.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
That's wonderful. Very good question. Can you speak in the microphone, my dear?
I just want to clarify the time. Is it 4 to 8 or is it at 6
Be there
o'clock?
at 6.
Everybody at 6. Okay, thank you.
I was concerned that they wanted you to all go through the training. December 11th, Monday. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And well done, Julian. This is,
I
go
just
ahead,
wanted to say that yesterday I had the chance to see the group because they were in Mansfield. And so there's lots of girls, so woman power again there.
Maybe it was that calendar that is being sold that's all women on it, firefighters, inspiring a few people. That's great. Anyways, so do we need to vote on this? Yes, we need a resolution. Moved by Mayor Terry Lafleur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you very much. And you have another item, 17.6. Request to the MTQ, the installation of a traffic light at the intersection of routes 148, 301 North and Rue Leslie.
Yes, due to the, how would I say that? Due to the danger of the intersection of Highway 301 North and 148 right here at the MRC, we have received request. We even have approval or at least support from the 2 local municipalities, Litchfield and Campbell's Bay, and the local businesses to request to the MTQ for safety reasons, the installation of a light at the intersection of right here at 301 North and 148 for many reasons, but we do have even support from Transcolline and all the other local transport agencies and the businesses located on the corner, of course, including the MRC.
Very good. Thank you so much. That's been needed for a long time. Moved by Colleen, Mayor Colleen LaRiviere. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 17.7, signing MRC SQ agreement resolution. Julian.
Yeah, so this is concerning the MRC agreement that is held with the Ministry of Public Security, but more specifically with the Sûreté du Québec for their services. The last contract was signed in 2004. Generally, this is a 10-year contract. So therefore, we are due to renew the contract. It will be in force as of October 1st. It's retroactive. The SQ signs their contracts on a yearly basis from October to October. It would be a 10-year contract, and we would like to move to renew this agreement.
Any comments or questions? All right, moved by Marilyn Gagnon. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. Thank you very much, Julian. You had a lot to report on. 18, management of territory is being looked after by Kim Lesage. So 18.1, the CNL's Environmental Stewardship Council.
Une résolution pour nominer quelqu'un sur le conseil de gérance de l'environnement des laboratoires nucléaires de Canadiens. So this is a resolution to name a representative of the MRC on the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories Environmental Stewardship Council. So we are proposing to name Lucy Rivet-Paquette as a representative. And then we also have to name alternates. So we're proposing Doris Ranger and Mayor Corey Spence as their designated substitutes.
Great, thank you. Any comments or questions? Could I have someone move the resolution? Moved by Mayor Terry Lafleur. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. 18.2, temporary suspension regarding areas inconsistent with mining, 9th renewal. Kim.
Une résolution pour la suspension temporaire visant des territoires incompatibles aux activités minières. The current one we have for suspension regarding areas inconsistent with mining comes to an end on November 30th. We need to renew this every 6 months. So a temporary suspension would prevent new claims to be issued on land while going ahead with the revision of our land use and development plan. We're going to keep adopting this every 6 months. So it's a proposal to send this to the Quebec government as a request for the renewal of our TM.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Who would like to move this? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Opposed? And that carries. We're near the end of the meeting. Miscellaneous. 19.1, resolution of support for Piscine Pontiac. Kim Lesage.
We received a request because Piscine Pontiac are going to apply for some funding. So I'll read you the resolution because there's a small little change from the one that was in ID side. Whereas Piscine Pontiac is a registered non-for-profit organization working to establish a public swimming pool in the Pontiac, whereas such a facility would be an important asset for the region and would have many benefits for the general health and well-being of the population. Therefore, it is proposed and resolved to support the steps taken by Piscine Pontiac, who are applying for the Pafil Sport Loisir Fund 2023 to establish a public pool in the Pontiac.
Could I have someone move this resolution? Moved by? Yes.
This is a nonprofit organization?
Yes.
Do we know who the board of directors are?
Yes. Do you need a list of them?
At some point in time, yeah.
Well, Kim Cartier-Villeneuve is the current president. Denny Rosignol from the CHSBO is representing the CHSBO. Lauriane Bertrand, the principal of the school across the street, is representing the Western Quebec School Board because it's in their mandate that they have to have the two school boards. Louise LaRoche happens to be from Mansfield as a board member, as well as Christine Francoeur. Just a minute. Christine Francoeur, who is the mayoress of Fort Clunge. Who else did you say? Yeah, no, John Stewart is just doing the website. He's not a board member. Craig Tripp, who is a new person who moved to the Pontiac from Manitoba. Sylvia Smith, who moved here from Muskoka and actually managed the pool in one of the pools in Muskoka. I think there's 9 altogether. So who am I leaving out? Jane Klein from Waltham is the treasurer. Yeah. No, Jane Klein is the secretary, and then Mariette Philippe is the treasurer. So that should be 9.
Perfect.
And they meet regularly. I'm not on the board, and I'm just a volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where would we get information on the steps taken so far with regards to their activities?
They did receive $225,000 for the engineering report. The engineers have been hard at work, and the application will be ready to go in on December the 5th. And they did apply in 2020, and they were not successful. The plan has been changed. It is simply 2 pools, not a gym. And it is on the land that Fort Clunge gave them, 2 acres, and for $1. And they've done I'm not sure if you're all aware of this, but there have been many studies done on this application since 2007. Denny Rosignol is, an original board member. And for the most recent application, the engineering report has shown that the cost, even though construction costs have gone up a lot in the last 3 years, they're able to, I think back in 2020, it was an $11.4 million project. This is a $12.2 million project. 90% can be provided through government funds as an OB&L. they're establishing themselves as a charity so that they can raise money throughout the year in case there's any operating deficit. And they also have raised considerable funds privately. And altogether, they only needed to raise 1.2 million of the 12.2. So, you know, I think personally that they're in a much better position at this time than they were 3 years ago. So and in terms, there's no other pool being applied for in the Outaouais this time. So although the 300 million is being offered year after year for, I guess, as long as the CAC are in power, or at least for the next 3 years, they're saying, it was advised that this would be the best year to go because other things like ice pads and things that have been announced that different parts of the Outaouais are applying for, they're only at an idea stage. This shows a tremendous amount of work that has already been done. Engineering reports, surveys of support. 85% was the result, a petition with over 2,000 names. And even back when this project first started, I think it was in about 2010 or 11, another survey was done of support, and it was also 85% support. So this has been identified. I don't know if people ever speak to you, but people come up to me and they say, is that pool ever going to be built? Or, you know, how's that pool coming? Because there were even some letters recently in the equity seniors and people like that just saying, you know, I'm in such bad shape. It's the only place I can exercise. And actually the comparison has been made to the arenas, even though our arenas are, you know, we are very proud of our arenas, but arenas compared to pools do not cater to all ages and all abilities and disabilities. And the most important thing I should mention, Sylvia Smith has been getting signatures from every doctor in the Outaouais, in the Pontiac, I mean, because Nicole Boucher La Riviere has written us a letter. They've written them a letter, but I say us because I feel it was very kind of her to write this letter. And she wrote it to replace the one Josie Fillion had written 3 years ago. But the difference with this letter is she actually states that doctors are not as interested in moving to the Pontiac because we do not have an amenity such as a pool. And that is why all the doctors have agreed to sign this petition that Sylvia Smith is gathering. I think she's got 21 names so far, because doctors feel that this pool could change the health of the Pontiac and they personally want to use it. And so they're big advocates of this, and they feel that the health of the Pontiac moving forward will improve and change if we have a pool.
One last question.
Yes.
Did Pontiac Piscine ever express how they planned on maintaining and operating it once it's built?
Yes, that's so the creation of this charity. First, they looked at a foundation, and in the end, a charity is the best way to go because you can have a surplus, you can have a deficit, and you can fundraise year round. And so there is a schedule that's been drawn up in the application. They have a long list of partners who have shown how much they plan to use it. And there's a calculation of expected revenue. And in case there is a shortfall, because I think we know all pools have a bit of a deficit, the plan is to have it supported through the charity and through donors who are pledging to contribute on an annual basis. They also could look at selling memberships. That is how they're explaining it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for those good questions. And I don't have all the answers, but I'm fairly connected to it to know.
Maybe at some point in time they can give a presentation at Plenary.
Oh, absolutely. But there is one very important factor. This was an MRC project. And because mayors were concerned about having to make up deficits out of their budgets or out of the shares, it was decided it shouldn't be an MRC project. So it is OBNL, which means that no one around this table and no taxpayers in the Pontiac will ever have to pay for any shortfall.
Unless they come requesting funds the second and third year when they're operating. And
I
they,
don't think that's the plan. I think that,
so either.
no, I think they would only come and ask for funds if, you know, if like all other OBNLs, there's a chance for the vitalization fund, but that opportunity that we had may only come that one time. We don't have ongoing vitalization funds. Yeah. So any other questions or comments? Okay, the MRC did, yes, you haven't voted yet. Okay, who would like to move this resolution? Okay, could someone else please move the resolution? Moved by Pro Warden Sandra Armstrong. All those in favor? Can I? Yeah, bring your bathing suit. Actually, from the time they break the ground, I think they said something like they'll announce that now everybody has a year to get in shape to be seen in a bathing suit. Okay, we still have 19.2 strikes union fronts, and your name. I think you've got a resolution, or I can read it. Sure. Considering the recent announcements by union fronts concerning strike days, including the front communes, okay, 3-day strike from November 21 to 23, 2023, considering that the council recognizes the importance of the work of government employees, including nurses and teachers, and also recognizing the importance for them to work in optimal conditions. Considering that the council is nonetheless concerned about the impact the strike will have on health,
My brain is full of useless knowledge. And when one of the ladies was passing out these papers from the Women's Institute, and Claude came in and mentioned South Africa. This lady moved here from South Africa with her husband. It's very dangerous over there. And we asked her at one point why. They Googled, and Shawville and a place in New Brunswick were the safest places in Canada. I don't know where they Googled it. And something, not New Brunswick, PEI, and something happened to the place in PEI, crime happened, they moved to Shawville.